Discussing the effective data collection and analysis. My task overview is to collect data from 3 classrooms, analyze the data collected to gain insights into the challenges that teachers are facing, and provide data driven insights to support teachers in addressing these challenges. My data collection tools consist of multiple tools such as various surveys and checklists tailored for gathering diverse data types. I will use the classroom observation tool, which systematically observes and records various aspects of classroom dynamics and teaching methods, as well as students' behaviors. I will conduct data collection process by selecting 3 classrooms at a chosen school. I will engage in conversations with the teacher. I will also choose data collection tools of my choice. Notably, I will use Microsoft Word and the TES tool. I will visit the classrooms, analyze, interpret data, create presentation slides, and develop reflection questions. Lastly, I will collaborate and emphasize collaboration in the future. The school of focus is Hyattsville Elementary. Hyattsville Elementary is located in Maryland and has a vibrant educational environment committed to fostering student success. Currently, the school is placed at the bottom 50% in all of Maryland for math and reading. These are the benchmark assessments revealing test scores. These are the sample survey questions I will ask Hyattsville Elementary students and teachers during the observation. What types of interactive learning modules or activities do you believe will enhance understanding of math concepts? That's an example question. So our objective is to gather the data and try to increase the test scores. This slide notes our data of focus. I will be focusing on reading scores, engagement and reading activities between teacher and student, teaching various strategies employed, as well as rationale, such as is these subjects being taught, are they targeted for areas of support, and how to accomplish higher data goals. The first classroom I will review is Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones is 5th grade classroom. She has low math scores in her classroom. In her classroom, I will observe her students to measure engagement levels, as well as assess current math proficiency levels, and explore different teaching methods with her to engage her students. Okay, so these are the instructional steps. Um, Overall, Mrs. Jones needs to implement differentiated instruction strategies to cater to individual student needs based on varying proficiency levels in the classroom. Interactive learning modules needs to be implemented that target teaching strategies for enhancing student engagement during reading activities, math activities. Reflection questions for Mrs. Jones. What is your interpretation of the progression in math proficiency levels in the class, starting from 60% and reaching a final assessment of 82? What aspects of the problem solving activities and interactive math games do you think contribute most effectively to student engagement? Can you use less effective methods? How can less effective methods be adjusted or supplemented to enhance their effectiveness and better address diverse needs of all learners. After applying the suggestions, her math scores went up astonishingly from 60% to 75%. I was able to visit 2 more times, and I found that her students were very engaged with math problems and as well as the math activities and showed motivation and engagement. The second classroom I observed was Mrs. Green's class. She is a fifth grade class. She has low reading proficiency test scores of 5% in her classroom. In her classroom, I will focus on collecting data on reading scores, engagement during reading activities, and effectiveness of teaching strategies employed by Mrs. Green. This data the will guide the development of tailored interventions to elevate students' reading proficiency and improve their overall academic performance. Overall, here is a progress snapshot of her student data. After surveying her class, I was able to suggest Mrs. Green develop personalized reading plans for each student based on performance, as well as developing literacy enrichment activities such as author visits, book clubs, and storytelling sessions to enhance reading engagement and comprehension. The following questions I have for Ms. Green are: how do you gather your insights from the progression of the data? Considering the 85% engagement in problem solving activities and 92% in engagement in reading problems, how do these high engagement levels relate to improvement in reading? Given the effectiveness rating of teaching methods, how well are the visual aids able to help the students? Once Ms. Green considered these questions, her reading scores went up. I visited the class 2 times. So the first time she implemented the questions, it went up 65%. And the second time I went to the classroom, they went up by 78%. So that's good. So overall, the students were very engaged, and they enjoyed the author visits and the book club meetings, and they, as a result, it increased their reading engagement and had an overall positive response from all students. The third class I observed was Mr. Pullen's fifth grade classroom at Hyattsville Elementary. He faced problems with student engagement. In Mr. Pullen's class, I focused on evaluating the effectiveness of various teaching methods employed by Mr. Pullen. I gathered data on student responses, engagement levels, and overall impact on learning. This data will help identify areas where improvements can be made to enhance teaching strategies and improve student learning outcomes. This is the overall snapshot of Mr. Pullen's data. So once I observed his class, I gathered 2 instructional steps. The first step is that Mr. Pullen needs diversification of teaching methods. He needs to experiment with diverse teaching methods, emphasizing high effectiveness and explore innovative approaches to maintain engagement and cater to various learning styles. The second step is for Mr. Pullen to attend professional development sessions on using technology and latest pedagogical techniques to optimize teaching strategies and student outcomes. These reflective questions will help Mr. Pullen increase his test scores by get by asking what can we infer about the classroom atmosphere and student learning experiences. Consider the success of multimedia lectures and how can we better replicate these um, results for better um, student engagement. With an improvement 80% in understanding and 15% in assessment scores, how can we improve our students? Once addressing these questions, Mr. Pullen was able to pull his grades up to 87.5%. The hands-on experiments were rated as most effective teaching methods in Mr. Pullen's classroom with a rating of 92%. Overall, I have gathered that collaboration with all the teachers has helped them to raise their test scores. I know this from specifically engaging in meaningful discussions, sharing insights and strategies, as well as implementing positive changes. The resources that I used bring comprehensive resources with structured approaches, as well as um, brought a lot of the teachers professional development opportunities for them to increase their skills. Thank you for your dedication to improving teaching practices. The insights gained from our collaboration effort and data analysis created a lot of opportunities and growth for this school. Thank you for paying attention.